Hello. Y'all are way too titchy, so anxious, so twitchy, chat. Hi. Yeah, hello. Hello. How is everybody doing tonight? I went to the game store. I went for a walk with hubby. We went to like pick up Star Fox, and the heat almost killed me. It's not nice out there, chat. It wasn't like super hot, but it was humid. Humid. It's so humid. It's like breathing soup. It's terrible. Hi. Yeah, I got back home and I had to like lie down. I had to like be like, okay, give me a second. Like, I had to like lay down in the AC, and so I was like, You don't get that you're slow and hefty. I'm not that hefty, but yes, it's significantly. I move slower now. Don't double bake the bean. Dude, no, like, I'm terrified that I'm gonna fucking bake this kid in the heat, so I'm not leaving the AC. Humid summers are terrible for pregnant women. I didn't know. At first, I thought that, like, I could deal with heat okay. It's really not for the faint of heart. Like, hubby's like, hey, what the fuck? You were able to tank it no problem last summer. And I was like, last summer, I didn't have a kid in me. It's literally that. It's literally that you get hot super easily. That's the problem. Like, normally you go outside, you sweat a little, you cool off, you're fine. But, like, right now, for some reason, you just get hot really easily. So I just have to come back home and sit down. Body heat for two. It really is body heat for two. Would it be like baking or boiling it? I think it would be more like boiling it. Dry heat is easier to deal with, I've found, in general. Dry heat tends to be more forgiving. The humidity's like... Humidity sucks because normally when it's hot, you sweat and then the sweat cools you off. But when it's humid, you don't. You just get damp. Mexico's more prone to dry heat. I take it in, like, the northern side of the country? Yes, because it's desert. But, like, if you go to, like, the jungle, like, if you go, like, south of Mexico City, it starts to get more humid as you go down.
What's this? A whole year with the pink thing. It must be a Christmas in July miracle.
Hey, baby. Thanks so much for the sub, King of Dryland. Thank you. A whole year. Wow, congratulations. Hell yeah. I've kept you guys in my clutches for that long. That's why fans are really good with the humidity. They blow off the sweat so you can sweat off the heat more. Yeah, no, and like AC units are also fucking baller. Because they're great for capturing, like, they like trap the humidity and suck it out.
To the show at some point. Folded hands emoji.
What, like the amazing Digital Circus? I already watched it. I'm not doing this one blind, because I wanted to watch it. Now you can't leave. Now you're stuck here forever, but thank you for the super. Did you watch Where the Drone Does? I have not watched anything besides Circus and the pilot of, Game of Earth and Guinevere. Mainly because there's no more Guinevere right now. And Game of Earth hopefully gets funded, but... I love Glitch, but I feel like their shows are very much, like, relying on trauma to make a narrative. I feel like a lot of them have very similar themes, if that makes sense.
Call it, chat. Who does Lily ship the hardest?
I don't ship anybody in the Amazing Digital Circus, actually. No, that's a lie. I kind of do, but it's a weird one. Thank you. Share it. Fuck no. Let's wait till we do the review first before we talk about the show. Ragatha and the Gwyn Queen. I love Ragatha. I love that doll, okay? Did you watch Matter Runner? Nope. Kinger is my favorite character, believe it or not. Kinger's my favorite character in the whole fucking thing. I don't give a shit. Like, a lot of people would probably assume it's Pomni, but no, I like Kinger quite a bit. Although there's something to be said about the disappearing guy, which is also very funny. I haven't finished Circus, but I love Kinger. I like he's a good character.
Alex is the best. So proud of how he nailed Kane.
I really like the voice acting. I will say that the voice acting for the bulk of the show was actually really well done. Very well realized. Gangle is how I felt at my old job. Gangle! I could relate a lot with Gangle, believe it or not. Like... Part-time bot Wally, thanks so much for the sub. Do I have any complaints about the show? I mean, no show is perfect. I wouldn't say they're complaints, they're like things I noticed. But no production is perfect.
Ming is my favorite character.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna stop talking about the show for now because we're gonna, like, do a full review, but, like... It's very, very funny the amount of fucking shit they managed to stuff into that show, huh? What about yours? Is it perfect? No. No production is perfect. Including my own work, I often find stuff that I wish I could do differently later down the line. Self-reflection is a good thing to have as an artist, chat. Wait, does the voice actor for Kane also do dubs for, like, Spamton for, like, Deltarune? That's hilarious. I've never seen them, no. But that is funny. That's actually how he was discovered. Oh, that's so cool!
I bought some Gakepon figurines of the amazing Digital Circus at the mall once. It was cool.
They have some pretty cute blind boxes, I think. I don't know where you can get them, though. I don't know if it's in, like, Glitch's website. They still sell merch for the show, right? Thank you, by the way.
Hello Lilia, someone who has never seen Digital Circus. Is the character design unique enough to you to explain the popularity of the show?
Please don't gank me, but no, it's not. The thing that makes the show good is a combination of factors, which we will discuss while we go through it. The visuals obviously help, they're very unique, but it's not the only thing that makes the show so popular. Alright, stop talking about it! Stop talking about it! We're gonna get to the segment in a little bit. I'm setting it up. I'm a fucking... Yeah, you know what? Let's talk about something else. What have you guys done with your day? Will there be spoilers today? Absolutely. How's Puppy handling him with heat? My dog has been corpsing all over my apartment. And when I say corpsing, I will just go downstairs and find her, like, laying flat on her side on a little patch of sun, or on the floor randomly, or in the hallway, or in the kitchen. She's fine, by the way. She's not dying or anything. She just doesn't like the heat. And since it's nice and cool downstairs, because I'm keeping the AC on for the most part, she just does not want to come up. It's comfy, yeah. She only does this in the summer. She never corpses in the summer, in the winter. She only does that in the summer because in the winter she's too busy trying to climb onto your lap for warmth to corpse. She became a blob. She's been blobbing it the fuck up. It's actually really funny. Cat behavior? Oh, yeah. If I had it my way, I would blast that I see and never leave my home. I am tempted. I am tempted some days to go back to the way that I used to be when I lived in Mexico, where I literally ordered in my groceries every week. Since COVID, up until I moved to Spain, I did not go grocery shopping. I just ordered them in. But I moved to Spain and I had to start doing it.
Yeah, Alex's Spamton voice is pretty much the Kane voice.
Nice.
Goose, the creator, saw his fan dub of Spamton and chose him to be Kane.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Deltarune truly helping people like Undertale did.
My dogs are laying on cool towels all summer. My dog does that too. My dog does that too. But yeah, I used to like not go to the grocery store. And then when I moved to Spain, I found it easier to go to the grocery store to like pick up my own produce and shit. And now that it's hot as shit and I'm pregnant, I'm like, I don't want to go out. I have to like start going to the grocery store like earlier in the morning. I normally go at like 2 p.m. because there's like no people. But I have to actually hit the store at like 10 or 11 p.m. a.m. Cute song, thanks so much for the sub. Thank you. My dog made a hole in my wall. Do you have a border collie? I just buy shit for 2 weeks. See, I would do that, but like, I'm really bad at fucking managing shit when it comes to like things in the house, and I don't want pros to go bad. How heavy has the cretin gone? What, the baby? Or the dog? The dog has not gained any weight, thank God. The dog is like 16 pounds of pure muscle, and I hate it. What my mom used to do is my mom used to go to Costco and she would buy a bunch of shit, like big stuff in bulk. And then the other things that like went bad quickly, she did with the normal grocery store. But Costco was great for like frozen meat and things that are like non-perishable. You hate the dog or the muscle? I hate that my dog is pure muscle because she's very heavy. I also shop for 2 weeks. I feel like people who shop for 2 weeks tend to live by themselves, though.
Alex Roshan was the first YouTuber I ever subscribed to back when he was the autark and did top 10 videos.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Guilty. Yeah. I feel like if you live by yourself, it's easier to shop for 2 weeks because you know what will go bad and what you will use. But when you live with someone else and you have to, like, plan meals for other people, it's better to do it week by week. How is the fur child doing, Lily? She's chilling. I don't even think she's aware that there's a baby. She is literally chilling. She doesn't give a shit. She's confused as to why I don't pick her up anymore, because I can't. But other than that, just enjoying herself. People who say, like, oh my god, my dog knows that I'm pregnant and that something's shitting. Liars. Liars. You're fucking doing that shit for Instagram. Your dog has no fucking idea that you're pregnant, okay? Your dog doesn't give a shit. If anything, your dog just noticed that you are rotund. That's it. We project onto our pet's law. I know. But, like, people say it all the time on social media, and I'm just sitting here like, you're a fucking liar. Because, like, there's no fucking way in hell that that animal knows that you're pregnant. Sure, they can smell the pregnancy hormones. They probably can, but they don't know that you're pregnant. They just know that something's different. Some know, others are idiots. My dog is in the idiot camp, and I don't think any of them know. Unless you talk to your dog a lot, then yeah, liar. Liar, yeah. It's like, hey, has the human gotten fat? You know, some dogs can smell cancer, right? Oh, I know that. And you can train dogs to, like, smell, like, low blood sugar and shit. But I think my dog is just a particular brand of stupid.
The character acting in this show is what sold me. It's what makes these goofy-looking characters real. My compliments to the character animators.
Thank you. thing about dogs, right? Just because dogs can smell different things does not mean that they know what those different things are. Like a dog can be trained to smell drugs. It doesn't know it's smelling cocaine. It just knows that it's smelling the thing it was trained to smell. You're a muscle and an idiot, so is your dog a jock? If only. She can only do like 20 minutes of activity at a time and then she fucking passes out. Dog, something is wrong and feel it. Like, she has been distancing herself from me a little bit, but I think she's just more mad that I can't pick her up. She's like, why the fuck is mother not picking me up anymore? But like, she likes Hubby better than me. Hubby can be like, hello, and the dog like runs to him and jumps and gets so excited. If I tell her hello, she will walk right past me. Your dog is spoiled a little bit. She's a COVID puppy, like... I got her in, like, 21. The downside of COVID puppies is that the socialization with other dogs is a struggle, a little bit. Also, a lot of dogs tend to not like Frenchies because they're very snorty, right? Because they have flat faces. Other dogs perceive that as aggression, even though it's not.
I was a big fan of Glitch ever since they just did silly Mario 64 machine and shit posts. I'm so proud how far they've come.
Hey, that's awesome. Thank you. Poor baby. Yeah, that's why Frenchies are racist unless it's another Frenchie. They will recognize each other.
I hope I'm not too late.
Oh, no, don't worry. We haven't started yet. Thank you for the subs, by the way. Readers are something whether or not they do something they should. I feel like if you want to get a dog like a French bulldog, you need to look for a responsible breeder. There's more and more of them nowadays because people do really care about their dog's health. Like, for example, I have a Frenchie, right? So I know that I need to fucking stay on top of my dog. I need to manage her weight. I need to make sure that she gets at least like a yearly doctor's visits, all her shots. Make sure that she doesn't have any problems with her eyes or her joints because it's a breed of dog that has those health issues. But unfortunately, unless your dog is mixed breed, or a mutt, as they affectionately call them, they're always gonna have issues. Every purebred dog breed has issues. Always. Every time. Frenchies have usually issues with their breathing and sometimes their joints. But for example, golden retrievers are very prone to cancer. Other dogs can have like spine issues, stomach issues. It really depends on the breed. So if you have a dog and your dog is purebred, make sure you know what their health issues could be so you can stay on top of that. Most of your dogs have issues with hips and backs. Yeah, if you've ever seen like a greyhound before, they tend to have issues with their stomach. But mutts tend to be healthier for the most part. They're just not as cute. That's the thing. My sister has a mutt, and it's actually a fairly healthy dog. She's had more issues than mine, but that's because she was rescue. Yeah, Pomeranians are prone to knee issues and alopecia. Like, so bald. Not the bald, yeah.
I have a 2-year-old boxer. Bro is incredibly sweet, but a little turd, but I wouldn't trade him for the world. I was there the day he was born.
For example, boxers are known as heartbreak dogs because a lot of them don't make it to 10 years old. They have a lot of issues, but every breed has issues. Lily's turning into Pomni. Oh god, I wish. Also, the smaller the dog, the longer it lives. We don't know why. It just does. Like, there's Chihuahuas that have lived for like 20 years or ancient fucking creatures are fine.
I agree, my dog had cancer and unfortunately passed, but he had a great life.
The thing you have to do with your pets is make sure that you flood their little baby brains with as much happiness as you could. And then don't feel bad when they go, because their entire life was filled with joy. But thank you for the super. Are you ready for Spain to in the World Cup? If I root for something a sports team, they lose, so no.
Dachshund mix, and she was the cutest little baby ever.
Dude, Dachshunds are mean. Weenie dogs are so mean. I've never run into a friendly one. But thank you. Smaller bodies are lower maintenance, maybe? And we tend to take care of them better because we cuddle them. We hold them a lot. We don't put a lot of strain on their joints. I would like a Chihuahua at some point, although hubby hates them, so that's not happening. But Pomeranian, though, we could probably do. I like small dogs, if that's not obvious by the fact that I own a Frenchie that's, for some reason, very small. Beeple or Beeple, but cats are a different type of fucking creature.
This reminds me of that one breeder who is entirely focused on improving the dog's genetics for either pit bulls or Rottweilers, not sure which. Anyway, the dogs look like dogs again.
A lot of breeders are actually doing that, believe it or not, with pugs. Thanks so much for the super. They're doing that. They're trying to breed back the retro pug. And the result is a very attractive looking little fucker. It has a snout. It still has a very cutesy, almost squash-looking face, but it has a snout and it has longer legs, and the tails don't curl as much, so less spine issues and less knee issues. If I was gonna get a pug, I would try and get a retro pug. That's what they call them. That's what I would try and get. The pug should have never existed. The pug is one of those dog breeds that I do agree we might have taken it too far. But I own a Frenchie, so I have no room to judge, honestly.
Say anything bad, ABT Gangle, and I will never forgive you.
I like Gangle, don't worry. I like most of the cast. I actually like all of them. Thank you.
Dachshunds were bred to help hunt badgers, so it makes sense they're feisty.
Wait, is that why they're so feisty? Now that makes a lot of sense, actually. Badgers are fucking vicious. Thank you. Chihuahuas are freaks of nature. Chihuahuas are freaks of... They're like anxiety and rage involved in a creature. And they like to dig a lot. Well, if you're looking for a badger.
I had a Staffordshire Bull Terrier. He was absolutely warped. In the best way. I loved that little gentleman so much.
Oh, I love hearing about people's dogs. It always fills me with much joy. Thank you. If you want to make friends with someone, ask if they have a pet, and if they have a dog, that's it, you're Gucci. Conversation for years. Chihuahuas are like chupacabras, honestly, yeah. Hello! Alright, okay, it's about time we get started, shall we? So, I recently finished watching a little show, I don't know if you've heard of it, perhaps, maybe, called The Amazing Digital Circus. Now, this show was actually a production by Glitch, which, if you guys know, they've done a bunch of indie animation. And this was actually one of the shows that they had, not their first, definitely not their first, that actually kind of took off a little bit, a lot. And I was debating while I was watching the show if I should make a character review before I finished it. But then I finished it, and it was like, you know what? It's better to do it now. So I must preface this review by saying there will be spoilers, because Spanish took no chances and no prisoners, and he put absolutely everybody in here. The categories for fucking reviewing these characters are as follow. Main characters. Characters of significant importance, but not main characters. Normal ass NPCs. And then absolute shitters. Okay? This is the order of the cast that I have put this review in, because Spanish is fucking tired of you people yelling at him, and you know what? I don't blame him. He put everything. So there will be spoilers for The Amazing Digital Circus. If you have not watched it, I suggest you click off in 3, 2, 1. Let's begin by talking about the main cast, shall we? Now, brief synopsis on the show, so you guys will understand the aesthetic. A lot of you guys are fetuses, so I'm gonna have to explain this. So, if any of you guys were alive and conscious during the early 2000s or late 90s, when computers first started becoming a thing, you would have probably played one or more computer games. The Amazing Digital Circus's aesthetic there is very much reminiscent of old school computer graphics, of when 3D animation was at its infancy. And it actually makes really good use of that aesthetic in the show because things glitch, they clip through things, they spawn in. It's actually really funny. But if you are like me, a millennial dipshit, you will know exactly what these characters remind you of. The video games and computer games of old. The show in itself surrounds a cast of people who have been transported to this digital space called the Amazing Digital Circus by some way or another. They always mention some sort of headset, and who are going through their daily life there by going on adventures, but at the same time low-key trying to figure out if there's a way out of it. But what I want to talk about is the designs for the characters, because I do think that the circus has a decently unique aesthetic, and I think that they actually managed to work through a lot of very common 3D animation limitations. That is, again, a thing prevalent, and especially if you're doing indie animation, budget tends to be an issue with these things. So I think that with the circus, they circumvented a lot of very common limitations and made a very memorable cast of characters who are all very goofy and very fun to look at. It was really smart of them to make it like an early, like 2000s, late 90s style of like computer graphics, so that way that any 3D that is considered, you know, shitty actually works in their advantage. And it gives the show a lot more charm. But we're starting with our main cast. We begin with the Clusie. Pomni. What can I say about this fucking clown that hasn't been fucking said already? Now, I've actually got 2D renders for some of these as well. Pomni is, you could call, the main character of the Amazing Digital Circus, and it shows in the stupid clown's design. The thing I like about Pomni is that Pomni looks, if you guys have ever played like any old school computer games, there's always like a character there that you either play as or that talks to you. Pomni is that character, you know? It's like a little clown thing, stark white skin, super big eyes, like really big pink cheeks. But it's also got a lot of really interesting features. Namely, there's a gesture theme for Pomni that I don't think has been quite done this way. Usually characters like this will have like some sort of like either absolute goblin or sex appeal component. I think that Pomni's pretty middle of the road. Like, this, it's a clown. It's a stupid little clown jester thing with gangly-ass limbs and that always looks anxious. The Clusie is just, and it's such a cute design, too. Like, I remember when I first saw, like, the concept work for the show, I was like, what is this creature? Because it was all over my Twitter feed. It was this fucking stupid thing. And I saw people drawing Pomni as the most curvy thing on the planet, as a goblin, as this, and it just has a really memorable silhouette. Pomni is stupid friend-shaped, not angular in the slightest. Like, even stuff like arms and legs are a little bit noodly, not super, like, I'm pretty sure the clown still has knees, but it still has a lot of softness to the character, and the only, like, really angular things about Pomni, if you've seen the show, is the hair and... If the clown is fucking feeling a certain type of way, fangs do appear. I think that if Pomni gets excited or if there's like any like movement of like, ooh, let's roleplay something, for some reason or another, the fangs come out, and I've always found that very funny. Now, before you guys ask, I do know that there's a few versions of Pomni. Evil Pomni exists, and as does the possessed Pomni, but I figured it would be best to talk about the base design because that's the one that you see the most in the show. And I think that Pomni communicates the character so well in the sense that it's like anxious as shit, you know? Like, if anxiety had a face, if you fucking open a dictionary and look for the word anxiety, you're probably gonna get a picture of Pomni. Like, always hunched over, The hands are usually clenched, the knees are turned inward. They're like always slumping a little bit. Always. Always, 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 always. Super nervous. But it's really funny because for a character that's so nervous and so anxious, their theme and their vibe is really not. Like a clown's vibe should usually be like bright, cheerful, peppy, like fucking high energy, entertainment. Pomni is not it. Pomni has a like significantly subdued personality. Very inquisitive, very anxious. But the design is so bright, so colorful, and has a lot of like really fun details, color asymmetry, wacky pupils, even like the cute blushy cheeks. It's very interesting to like see the juxtaposition between what Kane considers someone's mental image to be and what their actual personality is. And Pomni is a nervous wreck. I do believe that there was a bit of like the sad clown vibe going on with Pomni, but I do think that there's another character in here that encapsulates that better than Pomni does. But I do feel, as I often say, if your world is shaped around your main character, Pomni is the main character for the show, the circus itself, the circus as it exists in the show, it's a perfect fit. It's honestly a perfect fit. Because it's a very colorful space, but something about it is like liminal and off-putting. But yeah, I actually really like Pomni's design. It's definitely very striking. It's also very simple and very memorable. We're not working with our ridiculously detailed design here. We're working with a very strong silhouette. And I think that's actually something that Goose excels at, is making really, really good silhouettes, because you see the clown and you're like, well, that's a clown. It's a little gesture thing. What do you want? So I think Pomni's great. And as a main character, super solid. Let's keep it going. Oh, this cocksucker. Now, Jax is actually a pretty important part of the show for many reasons, mainly story ones. But if Pomni is the anxious wreck, goody two-shoes main character, Jax is the complete opposite. Jax, visually, has a very distinct style in that this stupid rabbit emulates rubber hose animation to a T. And I think everything about the way the character is made and how it moves, even how Jax emotes, tends to be super geared towards that old school animation style, which I have a feeling was very, very fun to do in 3D. Because I see how Goose draws Jax, very goofy, very angular, very like, haha. But then in the show, this stupid rabbit has so many expressions. It's actually, I believe, the most expressive character in this show. Probably only Kane is second to Jax in terms of expressivity. Because, I don't know if you guys can tell by the body language, jackass. Jackass. Like, I would say that Jax's body language is kind of aggressive. It's a little bit closed off, kind of tilted. And like Pomni, Jax has a very bright color scheme. It's like fucking bright purple, red overalls, yellow gloves, and a perpetually plastered on goofy smile. Although one of my favorite things that I saw when I was watching the show is whenever like Jax gets upset, the eyes get gigantic. Like, mouth closes, eyes huge, and it's like looking into like the face of a cat that will fuck up your shit, you know? I love the design, though. I found it very eye-catching. Like, the first time I watched the pilot, I was like, the rabbit thing? I like the rabbit thing. Because there's just something so charming about the design, despite the fact that you know for a fact that the character's an asshole. And it also made me laugh a lot when, like, there was a while before, after the pilot, before the show came out, that when the second episode dropped, people were like, oh my god, why is Jax so mean? It's like, no, you don't get it. The rabbit's always meant to be mean. It wasn't nice at all to see how Jax interacted with anybody in the first episode. I think he kicked Gangle down a hole or something, like. But the body language shows that. Jax's body language shows aggression. And I would actually argue that their design is a little bit different than other characters in the circus. Like, obviously, Jax is still a goofy cartoon character, but I would argue that it's not as deformed as others. Like, if you put Jax next to, like, Kinger, next to Pomni, next to Ragatha, I think that the rabbit is the one that looks like the most like a very concrete theme of a character as opposed to just like a random digital thing. I don't know if it was intentional, but like I probably was, knowing Goose, like super angular, super like incredibly gangly, very long limbs, long ears, very expressive. But something about Jax feels closed off, and that actually is on purpose, I do believe. And I would say that Jax is probably visually an opposite to Pomni, because Pomni's very short, Jax is super, super tall. Pomni's very round, Jax is very lean. And also the personalities differ quite a bit. Because Pomni's an anxious wreck, and Jax is like the picture of confidence. At least outwardly. The design is baller, though. It's very simple, but it's super memorable. And again, I think that's something that Goose is very good at doing, is like just giving things a solid silhouette and a very memorable time. I do think that Jax is one of those characters that I'm not about to forget anytime soon. Especially just from like visuals alone. And the funny thing is that the Amazing Digital Circus is not a show for children. The aesthetics might make it feel like it's a show for children, but this is a very adult show. And you'll know if you watch it or if you've seen it that the writing is definitely not for kids. But it's funny that most of the cast members do resemble a children's cartoon in some way. It's kind of like the opposite of like Hazbin Hotel for me. Hazbin Hotel has like the aesthetics of an adult show, you could say. They're like sex and blood and murder and stabby, but the writing is so kid-friendly, it's not even funny. The Amazing Digital Circus has the aesthetics of a children's show, and the writing is just like, oh god, no. But yeah, I love this stupid rabbit thing. Genuinely think it's one of the best designs in the show. If not for anything, for how memorable the design is. Alright, more. Give me more circus members. Ragatha. I love Ragatha. Ragatha is such a, like, soothing character to have in the show. So, like, you know how, like, every show kind of needs, like, an emotional anchor? I believe that between Ragatha and Kinger, that is what you get. Now, Ragatha's design definitely points towards children's media. It's a doll. It's a Raggedy Ann doll with a missing eye and a dress with a ton of, like, patches on it. Super cute. The amount of lewds I've seen of this character, though. Like, I think I've seen more Ragatha at this point than Pomni, and that's saying something. Because I've been around, alright? You guys know I make my rounds on the internet. Ragatha has a lot of these. I do believe that the design is, just like Jax and Pomni, fairly memorable. The color scheme is phenomenally planned out, to die for pretty. It's just, like, the red hair that kind of looks like licorice, very striking, and she has, like, a very, like, cute periwinkle dress, and it's covered in patches. And, like, little, like, brown shoes, almost. I also do like that there, again, is a few wardrobe changes throughout the story. I'm not gonna cover them today, probably, because Jax also had a few costume changes. Ragatha does as well. Every circus member does. But I do like, for the most part, that they kept the, like, ragdoll body. You know, kind of like mitten-like hands, minus like the one finger and like the thumb, the like stubby legs, the like a triangle nose. But the funny thing with Ragatha, if you watch the show, is if you see Ragatha's lip syncing at any point, the mouth does move like a digital object. It's the only thing that moves like a digital object. Like, Ragatha looks like a doll, but when they speak and like when the fucking character does anything, the mouth moves like a PNG, almost. That you, like, deform, right? Again, much like the other two, we'll call these the humans in the show, the design is incredibly simple, but very, very pretty, very memorable. Good silhouette. I do think that it was, like, nice to have a character like Ragatha in the show as well, because you need some humanoid is here and there was actually very good for the show. Because, like, let's face it, I think Pomni is too goblin-coated and Jax is too rubber hose-coated. So part of your brain is gonna feel like, oh, cartoon character. Ragatha kind of like brings in a human element that I think is kind of necessary for the show. As we go through, the cast members are gonna get goofier and goofier and goofier, but something you'll notice is that most of the humans, with some notable exceptions, have some form of humanoid in them, if that makes sense. I really like Ragatha's design overall, and I found her presence fairly soothing in the show. I was not expecting a doll in a digital space, but I think that it was very well executed. And she's also, like, one of those characters that I generally just enjoy seeing on screen. Yeah, toxic people pleaser. I think you can see that in the character's face, though. Again, the designs do denote personality. Ragatha, I think, is the closest match to her personality in terms of visual. It's a ragdoll. It's something that, like, kids throw around and kind of, like, use and abuse. And Ragatha, as a character, is very similar. Is a people pleaser, is someone who is used to being taken advantage of, or used to not having their way and being just tossed and turned to please other people. You'll understand if you watch the show as well. But I think that unlike Pomni and Jax, I feel like Ragatha's personality shines a lot more through the design than any other. It's toxic positivity, it really is. I also like the fact that it's not like a super clean doll design at all. It's a lot of patches, an eye is missing, the hair is like misshapen, almost like a child took to it with scissors. So it's not like the most pristine thing. It's very lovable. Like, the scrungliness of it makes it very, very lovable as a design, I find. Oh, baby. Okay, Gangle. Gangle, I love. Okay. This fucking sadness and crying. Gangle's design is actually one of the most visually interesting in this show. And I have to imagine how Gangle was animated. There has to be some sort of collider that ribbon is wrapped around, because a lot of the things that you use to move Gangle could be done with fabric collisions, but they need, like, full use of, like, hands and legs for this character. So I'm imagining that there is, like, an invisible object, some sort of noodle that's, like, in the middle of the ribbon that makes up a big part of Gangle's torso. I actually really relate to Gangle as an artist myself, but unfortunately, Gangle did not particularly see dreams realized in the show. I do, however, like, and I will spoil this because I don't give a shit, that they ended up with Zubul. Because I found that a couple very sweet. I thought it was super cute. And I was like, yes, finally. Because I feel like everybody except Zubul ganged up on Gangle at some point. Like, this was Jax's punching bag for the longest time, okay? It's like, made me so sad. But the design itself is actually, much like Goose's other cast and crew for the Amazing Digital Circus, painfully simple, but very well executed. Gangle is a character that kind of represents theater comedy mask, right? You have the tragedy mask and the comedy mask. And the gag with Gangle is that almost every episode, the happy mask, the comedy mask, breaks somehow because it's made of ceramic. The one episode where Gangle gets a mask that is not made out of ceramic, that doesn't break, it ends up that they take it off and smash. And, like, they don't break it, but they toss it, right? Because toxic positivity does not suit this character. I think that part of, like, the thing that makes Gangle very appealing is the fact that we have leaned into the espresso depresso with this character. Like, always hunched over, arms and legs tucked inwards, the perma tears. They also have this thing that I love, that when Gangle is happy, uwu mouth. Uwu mouth. Aggressive uwu mouth is the cutest thing on the planet. Yeah, I feel a certain type of way about Gangle, and I do think that Gangle's design is one of the more creative ones in the show. And Gangle is one of those characters in the circus that there's still a human shape. It's like 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head, but the body's super weird. And those are the ones that start feeling more like less cartoon character, more an abstract digital object, if that makes sense. And I like seeing, like, the difference in the masks. I like seeing the personality shift. I just enjoy seeing the way that the body language works. Also, she was in the Fortnite commercial and made me laugh way too fucking hard. I'm so sorry. He's like, oh no, you're not invited. It's like, why are we being mean to Gangle? You know? I think that Gangle must have been a nightmare to animate. Yes and no. If you're doing with 3D, it's actually not that difficult. The thing is, I think how it works, from what little I know of 3D animation, is that there was probably a mesh underneath the ribbon that was the actual skeleton for the character, and there was a skeleton probably for the ribbons on the arms and legs, and then the torso probably had some sort of collision on it that allowed them to, like, stick the mask geometry onto and do the ribbon torso onto as well. It's not impossible to animate a character like this in 3D. In fact, I would argue that animating Gangle in 2D would have been much more difficult because of the illusion of depth that the character has. I'm very surprised that Glitch managed to turn Goose's vision for Gangle into a reality. Because it's not an easy type of character to animate, if that makes sense. I do admire the commitment, though. And I do like that we actually respected Goose's vision for the most part. Because it's a very unique design. I would say this is one of the weirder ones in the circus, and one of the ones that are the most unique. I like her a lot, though. Yeah, with the right rigging, it should not have been that difficult. Zooble. Okay, Zooble is great. Zooble is one of those characters that when I first saw the circus, I was like, this has to be some sort of like gag or joke character, right? But as the series went on, they really grew on me. Because the personality for this character was really interesting. And I do think that the body and the design for Zooble also kind of shows that off. Zooble is very much a, like, build a creature type of scenario, right? I think, I don't know if you guys noticed when you watch the show, but there's no episodes where Zooble doesn't trade a part in for something different. The main things that remain the same is that they always have, like, this little bean torso and the triangular head, but they change the antenna. The designers change the arms and the legs. In fact, actually, Kane mentions that Zooble has a lot of spare parts. And it kind of like just shows the versatility for the character in the design. Now, what Zooble also has in the design for the character is a lot of chaos. It is not a smooth silhouette in the slightest. Zooble's silhouette is actually super chaotic. There's like crazy straw arms, the wing, the antenna being like super jagged and pointy. A lot of different colors and a lot of different textures, but it's balanced really well. If I was gonna say something about Zooble's design, is that she reminds me, well, they remind me a lot of the garbage monsters. You know the Nickelodeon era of animation around the time when like Hey Arnold came out? That there was like a lot of very abstract looking characters. I think Zooble kind of fits that vibe. And Zooble also kind of has like the, almost like a desktop assistant vibe, but like a wacky one for like a kid's game, you know? Ah, Real Monsters. Yeah. The Real Monsters, shows like that. I think that's the type of thing that like Zooble emulates. The aesthetic for the Amazing Digital Circus was very much early 2000s, so it makes sense that you'd have a character like this. I think, though, that Zooble is the least looking human one of the bunch. Zooble has 2 arms and 2 legs, but they also have like the weirdest balance in objects and color. Still very well realized, mind you. And the silhouette is still very, very strong. But it was always very fun to watch the complete juxtaposition between the design and the personality. If you see Zooble's design, minus the deadpan expression, you would probably assume that they're a very high energy character. Like, super high energy, very peppy, very fun. But then Zooble speaks and it's like, oh, it's one of, okay. Not a very active or willing participant for the most part. So it's really, really funny to see the design for this character be super wacky and chaotic, and then Zooble speaks and we get swear words. You know? Phenomenal swear words. It's a really, really good design. And again, I think that like Goose really excels with like making very, very strong silhouettes and very strong concepts. Oh yeah, and Zooble can also have like 4 arms, by the way. I don't know if you guys see it. It's in the shell. But in the original like concept artwork by Goose, there's like a little hole below one of the arms that they can put another pair down there, which is very fun. But I don't think we have. I think Zubo also doesn't have a ton of wardrobe changes. I don't think I have screenshots of the several arms, but it's something that the character can do. All right. Quad wielding guns. Yes, that's possible. Oh, my baby boy. My baby boy. I love Kinger. Kinger, I think, is my favorite character in the show. Kinger has probably the most wacky design outside of, like, Zubul, and also the one that looks the most like a desktop helper. Kinger has a very, very simple design principle, much like Gangle. It's a chess piece. It's a king chess piece. And it has very much, in a digital era style, floating arms. So, usually, Kinger is a very, like, gangly figure, right? The design relies on it being super gangly, super long. It has, like, the, like, little gloves that are floating. And then the eyes are also, like, super asymmetrical and weird. Part of it is because of, like, the wacky design, but the other part of it is to kind of, like, make the character look insane, which, you know what? Yeah, we well realized. But for the most part, the thing that I like is that it's a fairly expressive design by itself. And it's also somehow managed to convey a fuck ton of emotion and expression. If you see the character in action, you'll know what I mean. There are times where, like, Kinger can stand up straight and talk very sensibly, but there's also many, many times where Kinger is just shrimping the fuck out. And I feel like the very long, gangly silhouette really helps with that flexibility. I would say that out of all of the circus members, Kinger is the one that feels like the most like a digital entity. There's a reason for that. He's one of the oldest cast members in the show. This stupid chess thing has actually been in the circus the longest. So I think that the floating hands, the very much abstraction of a chess piece for the character really, really fits. It's something that just manages to, like, convey very much that old school, like, early 2000s computer aesthetic, if that makes sense. Yeah, Kinger was in the circus from the start. One of, like, the few OG members that, like, never abstracted. And I think that's part of the reason why the design is so wacky. I definitely think it was a good move to not give the character visible arms and just have them, like, hunching in on their little king coat, which I like a lot. Oh, creature. Okay, creature. All right, I'm a fucking, like, this is the only time I'm gonna do this for the circus, but I'm only just doing it because I love this character to bits. I'm sorry. It's not because I find Kane attractive, I promise. It's because I genuinely love the character. It's such a wacky concept for any type of fucking character, and if you see Kane animated, also one of my favorite memes is done with him, okay? Peruanos. Okay. Kane as a concept is a fascinating character. I've never thought to see an animated figure that was literally just, like, dentures. Dentures with eyes. And when I first saw the pilot, I was like, how the fuck are they gonna animate this? But I was very pleasantly surprised to see that the animation team actually used the top row of the teeth. It was lip sync. And also doubled as eyebrows. So Kane is probably the most expressive character, well, second only to Jax, in the circus. But Kane is also a main character and an antagonist at the same time. It's a very, very interesting take on the character. Now, Kane's design is actually fairly straightforward. Kane is an abstraction of a human, and if you watch the show, you'll know exactly why. But I like that, for the most part, right up to the neck, the design is just a ringmaster. It's like the shiny black pants, the cartoony gloves, the red tailcoat with, like, a perfect bow tie, the cane. And then, if you get to the top, that's where the abstraction and something that is called abstraction in character design, by the way. When you take an object and you actually break it down into something that you can turn into a character, they made a face out of dentures. I think that it was, like, a wacky as fuck idea from Goose's part, and it actually worked out beautifully in the show. especially with the 3D animation, they managed to actually deform the mesh of the top row of teeth to really serve the expressive parts of the character. Voice acting obviously helped a ton to sell Kane as a very expressive being, but for me, I do think that the design is incredibly memorable. Incredibly memorable. Kane is a character that can be either very wacky and almost lovable to, oh god. And the character shows this several times in the show. And there is something about the design that's a bit unhinged, isn't it? We don't normally like seeing people's teeth. Like, fun fact, if you smile at a gorilla, it's gonna consider that a threat. Normally, when a human bares its teeth at you, it's almost always angry. So seeing just like the denture and the eyes is already kind of off-putting. But then you see how the character moves and it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess they're not so bad. I really like Kane's design. I love the color scheme. The shape language that he has is actually very subtly threatening. The teeth are pretty angular, but also square. Also shows that Kane is a stubborn motherfucker. Kane also has, like, Dorito body. So there's a lot of triangles in the silhouette for this character. The tailcoat, the lapel on his coat. Even the cane being, like, pointy also really helps. And also, I don't think I've seen Kane in a relaxed posture for the bulk of the show. For the bulk of the... Oh, Alex is watching. Hi, Alex! Love your work, honest to God. There's very few times when Kane has a relaxed posture in the show, and it kind of, like, shows the high-energy nature of the character. Not to mention, Kane is an anxious character in his own weird way. And it kind of shows. There's a big insecurity, and now that I've watched the entirety of the show, I can tell you why. There's a big insecurity in Kane, and I kind of guess that Kane wasn't human from the get-go, because the way that, like, they're animated, and then, like, the design, and then the voice is like, something about you is uncanny as shit, my guy. Like, super uncanny. But it was so much fun to watch. I actually really liked whenever Kane was on screen, even though I was like, oh boy, okay, what are we up to now? And the design, both the concept from Goose and the actual 3D realization, they're like a one-to-one match. It's very tricky to do this, by the way. If you are a character designer and you have to think about how you're going to put an object into 3D, you have to consider a lot of details. And that's why I think that Goose, very, very smartly, she decided to make the character designs simple. If you will know anything about animation, is that animating is a very consistent-like process, right? When you have inconsistencies, mistakes can show. In 3D, it's easier to get rid of those, but in 3D, if you're adapting from a 2D space, you can have some inconsistencies on their own. We saw this when we talked about Monster Hunter, between their 2D concept art and their 3D realizations. With Goose's characters, they're almost one-to-one, and I find that very impressive, personally. I also really like how glamorous Kane is compared to the other people in the circus. I'm telling you guys my wacky ship now, I don't give a shit if you get mad at me. I actually kind of like Kane and Pomni, believe it or not. Not, like, from the start of the show. I think that, like, Kane at the end of the show is a better match for Pomni than at the start of the show. I never shipped it with Jax. Never shipped it with Jax. I had no ships in the circus except for Zubul and Gangle, because obviously they're perfect together. But then when I got to the end of the show, I was like, you know what? I feel like Kane and Pomni could be something, because I feel like Pomni is a lot of the humanity that Kane lacks. I feel like Kane lacks a lot of humanity. They obviously want to get better at it, and that's part of, like, the show, is that, like, they're struggling with that. And I know it's a rare ship, by the way. And I think that Pomni's a good match in that sense. But design-wise, Kane is fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Super fun character to watch in motion. The voice as well. And I think that they did a great job translating the design from 2D to 3D. Bubble. What is this chaos entity? I think if you watch the show, you'll know what I'm talking about. I think Bubble is supposed to be not the blue AI straight out, although some people say that. I think Bubble's meant to be like Kane's insecurity about having taken the other AI. The bubble is a hilarious entity. And the design for it is actually so funny because it's a bubble. It's a bubble with pointy-ass teeth and, like, fucking eyes in 2 different time zones. And that's it. And that's it. That's the character design, mama. And again, a one-to-one rendition from Goose's work to the actual 3D realization. Yeah, I think that, like, the bubble is, like, Kane's inner dialogue, if that makes sense. It's like the thought bubble, but also his guilt/insecurity about the fact that Kane is not perfect and the blue thing was. But I like the character because it just shows up, throws little monkey wrenches in there, says something completely unhinged, and then leaves. It's like, yeah, it's like one of the Christmas ghosts. It's a literal thought bubble. It's a great character. But the design is actually painfully simple, which I actually like a lot. And then the blue AI. Big spoiler. This is barely a character, but I think that it's worth mentioning that this is, in a way, a part of the circus, and it's something that it's just a blue orb. They don't go into character about the blue AI, and you know what? I actually kind of prefer that. I like the mystery. I like the mystery about the blue AI, that we know it exists, we know Kane took it, and then we know that Kane let it go. I did say at the start of this video there was gonna be massive spoilers for the show, and if you didn't want to get spoiled, to click the fuck off. Meow. It's a great design, though, because if you see Kane is, like, predominantly a very red color scheme, and the blue AI is just blue. So it's just a whole blue. All right, we're moving on to characters that have story importance, but they're not outright NPCs. Let's go. Kaufmo. Remember when I told you guys that Pomni wasn't exactly the sad clown? It was Cosmo. Now, Cosmo, similar to Jax, has quite the juxtaposition of the fact that, like, the character design looks so unassuming. It looks like something you'd find in, like, Fall Guys, right? It looks like a Fall Guys skin, actually, now that I think about it. And then, Cosmo speaks, and it's just, like, an asshole. Like, super deep, cigarette-y, gruff voice. Kind of like a douchey. A great time, though. Great character. Now, you'll notice that there's a little something on the side of the character there. This is what's known as an abstraction, and it's part of the show, which I'm going to spoil because it's literally in the fucking pilot. When a human in the Digital Circus undergoes significant mental stress or upsetty, or any type of, like, isolation, really, the character that makes them up abstracts, and it becomes this absolute horror creature that's like a quadruped thing covered in eyes, right? Now, I'm not going over the abstraction designs specifically because they look very similar. All of them look almost like this. They have smooth versions when they're in the dark, but when a character abstracts, they just become this thing. And it's like a really good metaphor of how much bad mental health will fuck with your person, with your perception of how you see yourself and how others see you. But I thought it was, like, a good thing to see if you could put the abstraction versions up here. Cosmo is actually such a children's book-like design that it's really funny to see when the character speaks that it's just not. It's like a gruff, douchey voice. I really like it, though, because it has, like, a very solid color scheme. It's like a little yellow clown. It's a sad clown motif, even though Cosmo's usually smiling. That's actually the funny thing. But they have, like, the little blue ruffle. They have, like, the low pointed hat, the big buttons. It's like when you think of a classic clown silhouette, this is usually what you get. Not Pomni. Pomni is a jester. It's a very, very different. Cosmo is more of a clown. But a clown with no nose, ironically enough. I think that, like, Cosmo looks like a bowling pin. If I had to, like, give it a shape, it's a bowling pin. Goose said his IRL name is Dog. Yeah, he does look like it. He does sound like a dog. Cosmo sounds like a dog, yeah. But yeah, good design. Pretty simple. Gets the job done. Queenie. Okay, so Queenie is Kinger's wife. IRL as well. They found each other in the circus. And the design for Queenie is actually very similar to Kinger's. The only way that you can tell the difference between the two is because of color. So Queenie has a more dark stain on the wood that makes up the chest piece that is the head of the character. And unlike Kinger's eyes, where Kinger's right eye is higher than the left, Queenie's the opposite. Queenie's left eye is higher than the right. And Queenie also has red, predominantly red silhouette. Also has the floating hands. Also, Goose, you're fucking evil. There's like an abstracted eye on that butterfly that like Queenie's holding in that fucking 2D render. Evil. Queenie also abstracted, which is why the abstraction version is there. Again, they all look very similar, but I thought it would be, you know, kind of punch to the gut to put them up here. Yeah, Queenie had a great voice as well. But you'll notice that, like, the characters is almost as identical to Kinger in terms of, like, their concept and design. And that also shows you how similar Kinger and Queenie were, and that's why they were married. Queenie likes bugs. Queenie was an entomologist, and that's why the butterfly is there. But don't think I fucking didn't miss the abstracted eyes patterns on the wing, Goose. And yeah, this is the reason why Kinger is a little bit insane in the show, is because Kinger saw Queenie abstract, and it kind of broke the chess piece forever. And yeah, a very, very cute character. Same concept as Kinger, but girly pop version, you could say. Very nice. Okay. Internet, I need to have a word with you. Internet, I need to have a word with you. Because I have seen an ungodly amount of not safe for work of this frog. I don't know what happened. The furries took Ribbit and just decided to fucking go with it or what. Like, I actually really like Ribbit. I wish we would have seen more of Ribbit in the show. It's understandable why we didn't, but it's such a cute design. Fun fact, my favorite animals are rabbits, but I love frogs. I think frogs are like my second favorite animals. They're the cutest thing on the planet. They're like so adorable. And Ribbit is like my favorite way to like represent a frog character, right? It's so painfully simple. Also naked. Also naked. I know why people want to fuck this frog, okay? It's because of the eyes. Big googly eyes and hips, mama. Also bedroom voice and eyes. Yeah, the ass is out. And, like, but I like the little froggy feet. I like that they gave the character, like rounded out fingertips, like a frog dead ass. I also really like that, similarly to Jax, this is a very old school type of cartoon art style for Ribbit. The giant eyes with, like, the big black pupils, the noodly limbs, the, like, kind of gangly body. I do like Ribbit and Jax more than Pomni and Jax, personally, although Jax, you fumbled that bag. Still, though, it's a very, very cute design. And again, incredibly great work from the animation team to adapt the 2D artwork into the 3D style. Looks absolutely beautiful. And it's just a really cute character. The design is, again, painfully simple, but very memorable. Fumble of the century. Oh, no, Jax fumbled that bag hardcore. I'm sorry. Hard fucking core. Yeah, the pupils are not lily pads. The pupils are actually a very old-timey animation technique, which was used to kind of, like, emulate shine in the eyes. Since you were working with ink back in the day, if you wanted to show some twinkle in a character's eyes, you would, like, gouge out that little triangle, and it kind of emulates the shine on the iris of someone's eye. It's not a lily pad thing. It's an animation thing. That's very, very old school. Oh, yeah. Jax fumbled it so hard that, like, Ribbit abstracted. The design is adorable, though, in and of itself. And the abstracted Ribbit, we see a little bit of it over there, but again, it's the same as the other ones. They tend to look exactly the same for the most part. It is very old school Disney coded, yes. I love it, personally. Why does the frog have cake? It barely has cake. That is not cake. That is a noodle. Barely has cake, chat. Calm down. Oh, Gummigoo. I actually really like Gummigoo. This is the one I want for Pomni. You know what? If you saw the end of the show, you know for a fact that, like, Kane could just... I don't know if he could gank NPCs outside anymore, but, like, you know what? Fuck it. Give Pomni the gator. Give Pomni that fucking stupid gator. Do gummy alligators actually exist as a real candy, by the way? Because I kind of want one. Oh, wait, no. Actually, I have a... My mother-in-law likes these, actually. They're real. Yeah, they're actually real candy. And my husband also loves gummies, so... Kane, could you give Pomni back her Australian gator, please? I think that the clown deserves that. Cluzy deserves gummy gator dick. I know that the sex update was installed, okay? I know it. I saw the end of the show. I like Gummy Goo's design, though, because it's, again, super cute. It's just a gummy alligator, but it's so stupid expressive. I also love the texturing work that they did in the show that actually makes Gummy Goo look like actual candy. And it's very Australian. Like, if the voice isn't enough, the fucking hat just kind of sells it. Absolutely adorable. Super soft, like, great silhouette. Has, like, low-key kind of Dorito body. Very furry-coated, which is a lot of the characters in the circus are kind of furry-coated. I love the 2D rendition of Gummy Goo, though, because it looks a lot angrier than the 3D one. If anything, I think that the 3D one actually made the silhouette for Gummy Goo a little bit better, because Goose's original was not that wide on top. And I do think that, like, making it a little bit wider on top, it probably helped weigh the mesh for the character. You have to do this thing called weighing, so you can actually put skeletons on them, and so that the mesh doesn't distort when you animate it. So I think that, like, the wider shoulders on the 3D one definitely serve the character design better than the OG very lanky version. But super cute. Absolutely adorable character. Alright, we're moving into NPC territory. Abel. Okay. I'm so sorry. Abel fucking sent me. I actually hate this character. The design I love because the design is just like one of those like posable artists like mannequins, but Abel grabbed the Sharpie and drew a face. And drew it in like the worst place, because like that's not at all where your mouth would go, Abel. You look like a ditto, dipshit. Like, it's a good design, though, because, like, they actually had us in, like, the first half of the show. But, yeah, it's very funny that it's just, like, an artist mannequin with a Sharpie smile drawn on it. This one doesn't even have a 2D fucking concept art. 10 out of 10 would kill again. I would literally eat this motherfucker into the void. Never got that raise. Yeah, get fucked. Disappearing guy, probably the funniest gag in this stupid show. Like, whenever the disappearing guy showed up, I knew the joke was gonna happen immediately, but it always got me. I think that, like, Hobby and I were talking about it when we were, like, watching, when we finished watching the show, is that the second half of the show kind of got rid of the comedy a little bit, and we wish it had kept it, because gags like this were just so fucking funny. The disappearing guy is similar to Abel. It's also like a posable mannequin, but it's red, it has a cowboy hat, and whenever it goes into our room, it just fucking vanishes. Perfectly cut Scream, the character, literally. Very simple design, though. The Gloink Queen and the Gloinks. The Gloink Queen is, a lot. This one actually did have a concept work by Goose. Well, that was a lot more about Gloink reproduction than I ever thought I'd have to learn. Yeah, Pomni, I'm with you. Like, it's like a weird circusy creature, horror, terror, nightmare thing with two mouths. And the Gloinks are just like... I feel like this is what babies' nightmares must look like. Genuinely. I feel like if a baby was having a nightmare, it would be this. Brightly colored, like, not quite your toys, but, like, threatening and they're gonna eat you, you know? It does look like a Beetlejuice character. Yes, it does. You know? The fuck, this is my nightmare. No, I feel like this is, like, a nightmare for a child. I also like that, like, Jax roasted it. In the 2D art, I think it's blocky because, swallowed up everybody's shit. Wasn't that the inspiration? What, Beetlejuice? I could see that. Yeah, definitely. It's one of those, like, really funny NPCs that I was not expecting to show up in the show more than once, but, you know, somehow it did. Princess Lolly Lalu. I love this one. Oh, I love this one. This one's so cute. This one also gets a triangle for me. This one was like... I love this because, like, the 2D to 3D is fucking perfect. The sprinkles, the dress made out of frosting, the, like, orange gummies making up her hair, the eyes being, like, super far apart, the fact that, like, her body's like a lollipop. It's like cake pop shoulder pads and then, like, a cake skirt with frosting and sprinkles. So cute. Incredibly charming. Jax, you asshole. Jax, you bitch. Like... Yeah, no, Princess Lalu is very much a stick. It's a lollipop stick with a body. But it's a very charming character. I feel like it was, like, meant to emulate the kind of, like, Candyland board game. But, like, a computer version of it. But, yeah, I really like the jelly candies that make up her head. And the fact that the rest of the design looks super sweet. It looks like fake candy, but I would still eat it. I would still eat it, I'm sorry. It's just tasty. Yeah, her hair is, like, blood orange gummy candies. And I think that the eyelashes are kind of like licorice coated. Why do I remember this one from Cuphead? Because there was a very similar character in Cuphead that was also like a candy queen / princess. It's not like an uncommon archetype, believe it or not. Is the dress part of the body? I think so. I think it is, yeah. Varanus Bonbon. Yep, that's the one. That's the one from Cuphead. Very cute design for Lolly Lalu, though. I like that became friends with Ragatha and then Jax fucked it up. I would like to lick the princess, but not in a sexual way. I just want to bite because I like frosting. I like frosting a lot, okay? Leave me alone. Jax fucked up seems to be the theme here. Spanish, did you watch the show? Just out of curiosity. That's a big part of it, actually, I would argue. Only 3 episodes, I believe. Watch it, you'll see a reoccurring theme. I do like pink things. I don't know why you guys are surprised. Ghostly, an absolute creature. An absolute fucking creature. It was really cute. Yes, the manor NPCs are gonna be in here. Ghostly is just like an abstraction of a ghost. With like a teardrop head and stupid ghosty body. But it also looks very digital, which is why I like the design for this character quite a bit. Aggressive Awoo Mouth. Aggressive Awoo Mouth. And just very simple color scheme, very simple play on shapes. Goose, the artwork. The 2D artwork, yeah. I feel like the 2D artwork perfectly encapsulates the goblin levels of this creature. Very huggable. This one's not scary. Martha Middlehall is actually the wife of one of the spirits in this adventure, because this was one of the adventures in the show. Very, very charming. We sadly don't get to see this character's full body in the show because they're like having tea around the table and we conveniently strapped Jax down to a chair. But this character is actually like a very classy ghost lady with beautiful hair, very charming hat, and has tea. Very friendly ghost, I will say. This one actually reminds me quite a bit of the Luigi's Mansion ghost because it's like very cartoony humanoid, but it's done in like a shiny shade of green and does not have a very threatening vibe to it at all. Super pretty. Very, very sweet character too. She's not in the episode a ton, but like we do get to see her interacting with the other circus members, minus Pomni and Kinger for obvious reasons. They don't, like, yeah, it does have full body, because I think that, like, if you're designing characters, and I think that's something that, like, Goose is well aware of, even if you're not going to show the full body in the shot, you should have a full body designed, just in case. That way you have a very cohesive idea of what you want the character to look like in action. Okay. Evil big tops. I love that. You know, remember when I mentioned the evil Pomni? Yeah, the reason I didn't is because yeah, right here. Okay. I like that even like evil Pomni has fangs, but the evil big tops, what they are in essence, is just like color swapped and personality swapped versions of the circus members. So, like, the Zooble is really dumb, the Pomni is super evil, Ragatha is really mean, Jax is just, like, a sweetie, and Kinger just became Hitler for some reason. I don't know why we decided to make it a commander, but okay. Actually, no, it's giving more Stalin, isn't it? It's giving more Russia vibes. Dictator. Yeah. Oh, that's why. I was like, why is it giving, like, Stalin vibes? Like, who's the Orb one supposed to be? Gangle? I don't know why Gangle, for some reason, did not merit having an evil version. I think that was part of the bit. The Gangle was like, what about me? I like the evil Pomni, though, because it's just a color-swapped version of Pomni with fangs. Evil Orbsman. I think it's because Kane actually likes Gangle. I wonder if that's the case. Actually, now that I think about it, when Kane lost his shit, was Kane mean to Gangle at any point? I think that they were mean to everybody, but still. Sun! Oh! I love this character. The sun shows up at the start of the show, and then it shows up in, like, the beach episode for, like, 2 seconds. But it's so unhinged and so fucking out of left field, it's never not gonna make me laugh. Like, Ragatha is like, yeah, just ignore it. Yeah, just ignore it. Like, it's so fucking mean. But again, it's like the sun from the Teletubbies. It's just, like, a very, like, abstracted version of the sun with, like, a little smiley face on it. But it's aggressive. It's aggressive. Quite aggressive, yes. If you guys are wondering why the sun doesn't have a 3D model, it literally looks like this in the show. It's a 2D object in the show. What am I gonna tell you? The moon is the sweetest thing ever. The moon is actually really, really sweet. And again, it's a 2D object in a 3D space, so there's no 3D model for the moon. I love the moon. The moon has a really nice voice. Just a very sweet character in general. And I actually really like the moon because the moon kind of reassures Kane a little bit at the end of the show, because Kane was like, wait, I didn't program you to like me. And the moon is like, doesn't matter, I still do. So, like, the moon is sweet, and I like the moon a lot. I've seen art of the moon. There's art of everything in the show, I think. We like the moon because it's close to us. Dude, there's a video of a dude being like, oh my god, I'm turning into Pomni. Anything the show does prints money, okay? Chad. Another Gummy skeleton is one of Gummy Goo's friends. This one actually kept... Gummy fucking crocodile, sorry. Like, Gummy Goo actually had, like, the gang of idiots, right? Chad is actually a more lanky version of Gummy Goo. The 3D model is similar, but this one actually has just very long limbs. And it's kind of like gangly and noodly in general. And the color scheme is, like, more orangey red. I just really want gummies now, fuck. I like that this one has, like, fangs on its hat and, like, the little bandana. But it seems, like, really dopey, which I find sweet, personally. Yeah, very much little brother energy. I like it. Another Gummy Goober. Gummy Chad. The arms are, like, way too long. I find that charming, actually. And then Max, which is the other member of Gummy Goo's crew, which is a chunky boy. A chunky, croc. A chunky gummy gator. Adorable. Super cute. I love the vest and the little hat. And I think that Max doesn't know where he is. I think that the crocodile has no idea what's going on, ever. It's just, like, moisturized, in your lane, thriving, gummying, you know? Super adorable, very friend-shaped, kind of dopey. I like it. Orbsman? Okay, first of all, Goose, what is that artwork? Why is it so shiny in the 2D render? Orbsman has, like, nothing in there. And, like, it literally is the name. A man made of orbs. Again, super old school, 2000s computer game character coded. Back when, like, 3D modeling was new, and we still had no idea how to make people, but we had to make abstractions of people. This is what we ended up with. You can tell it's, like, one of those things that Kane conceptualized very early on as... as the circus was like made, because like yeah, it's actually really really hard to 3D model humans. Fun fact, because the face is a whole fucking story. Like fun fact, Warframes don't have faces because when the game first came out, D couldn't do faces. They couldn't like model faces. They look really good now, but like when the game first came out, I was like, yeah, let's work around this limitation, and that's what we got. It looks like something from a Nintendo 64 game. I love them. Yep. Oh, this fucking thing. The scream I screamed. The scream I screamed, chat. This was literally the one episode that had me thinking, wait, did Goose make this a horror show? Because it was like, oh yeah, haha, Middlehead Manor, it's gonna be funny. And then this thing shows up and I was like, ugh. This is not Fred Shade. This is actually a phenomenal horror character design concept. The eyes that are like super far away from each other, the deformed mouth, the gangly, disgusting wings with eyes all over it, very janky, lanky movements, super long fingers, super long legs. Like, this thing is like old school internet horror at its finest. It's like analog horror. Like, this should be an SCP. Like, yeah, the angel was actually a phenomenal moment for Kinger. That's when, like, Kinger earned my respect. But the angel itself is like, ugh. It's so scary. I hate it. I hate it. A biblically accurate angel. Yeah, just a scarier looking one. This was actually the scream I screamed, chat. Like, the scream I fucking screamed. You guys have no idea. The fuck is that? Watch the show. Set it on fire. It's like, oh, yeah, like, I love how Kinger was like, well, that lore was placed inconveniently. I really like this thing. It's scary as heck. Yeah, no. Then the episode also had its moments where it was scary. But yeah, the angel sucks. Varian Theodore Middlenhall. Oh, okay. So you guys know like the sexy ghost lady from like earlier on? The husband. The Baron should be a ghost as well. But we mainly see the character in this design, which is like a dried up human husk. Ironically, I think the best human Kane has actually managed to create, for some reason, is just a corpse. Which tells you a lot about Kane, honestly. And this character is portrayed by this and the tape recorders. Like, if he's in hell, how did he record the tape? Like, no one knows, okay? Don't think about it. Like, please don't come alive. Okay, I won't. And Pomni just like, It was a really, really good episode, okay? Ming! Assuming makes an ass out of you and Ming. And this is Ming. Ming is another mannequin NPC, but this one has googly eyes. This one has googly eyes, which is great. I love Ming. Did Kane just swear? Kane is allowed to swear. Kane is allowed to swear. Okay? This is like one of like the best ones. I love this one. The fudge! Goose, the fucking... Okay, the illustration for the fudge tells you a lot about the character, and... I love the fudge. I have to wonder, Goose, did you play Conker's Bad Fur Day? Because if you did, I know exactly where you got the inspiration for this character. Like, if you've played it, if you play the game, you can't unsee it, chat. You cannot unsee it. If you played Conker's Bad Fur Day, you look at the fudge and you'll be like, oh god. The song will immediately start playing in your head. Notebook full of doodles, thanks so much for the raid. You will literally just fucking, you know what? I have it. I have it. Like, you're this sentient shit, literally, I have it. Oh, yeah. There you go. Literally? You can't unsee it, I'm sorry. Point is, the design for the fudge, it reminds me of Conker's Bad Fur Day. But it's just like a creature of chocolate. I'm sorry, how are you eating candy, people? I would like to eat that. Like, It's just chocolate and candy corn and jawbreakers. All three candies that I like, okay? I actually really like all of those three. I like fudge, I like candy corn, and I like jawbreakers. It's a good design, though, because it's just like a sentient orb of chocolate. Very simple, very straight to the point. We'll eat the candy townspeople if given the key. Jax. I hate candy corn. Why do you guys like this? It's delicious. Why is La Bouble? I think this is from the shorts, which I don't think I watched, La Bouble. Merch character. Oh yeah, the amount of merch for the Digital Circus is actually fucking insane at this point, I'd be willing to bet. I think it was like shorts where they turned like stuff into merch. Every single one. Look, Spanish isn't gonna get fucking fooled by you idiots anymore. Like, affectionate. Like, Spanish is done with the shenanigans of chat, like, merch shorts. Spanish is done with the shenanigans of chat, giving him shit when he misses the one globshito. But yeah, Bubble is just bubble in plushy form. I kind of want it. Can I still get this? I kind of want one. the name was a pun on Labubu. Oh, bitch. Meat Lad. Was this also from the shorts? Spanish? I don't remember this character at all. Spanish? Is this like malicious compliance to an unhealthy degree? Why did you put this in Giga Globshitos? Meat Lad! It was from a Who Is That Pokemon parody they did. Oh my god! It's terrible though. Goose, what the fuck? Ew. The machine. Oh, this is from the short. This is the machine that turns stuff into merch. Why does it look bloody? Ew! Why does it look Kane? It has tiny arms. It's very off-putting. Very, very off-putting, chat. The big googly eyes are fucking sending me, though. Don't worry about it. Warmo. Oh, this one has artwork by Goose. It's just like one of those like wormy things that chase balls. Warmo, it's cute. It's just an unhinge. This is malicious compliance, by the way. You guys did this. Affectionate, you guys, this is all your fault. Like, every single person is gonna be in here, and that's why we have a category that I lovingly refer to as the absolute shitters in like one character. And Jonesy counts. Jonesy was in the ad for Fortnite. Jonesy counts, so that's why Jonesy's invited to this party. Malicious compliance. Malicious compliance. My poor editor is losing their shit. Okay, like. Okay, Scratch. Actually, believe it or not, this character is way more important than it seems. But it's also like, you know what? I'm just spoiling things. This is actually the first person that actually ended up in the circus. Scratch is the first abstraction, and fun fact, Scratch is the only abstraction that did not happen from mental English. Kane accidentally fucked it up. Kane fucked with Scratch so much to try and like make him like happy or something that that the abstraction happened. Scratch Hover is another incredibly simple character design, which is just like an anthro dog in a red t-shirt and the gloves. Yeah, this is the guy who actually made Kane, or the circus version of him, actually. The tumor. Yeah, the one who came up with, like, the headset that every character mentions when they enter the circus. Yeah, this is him. And again, it's a very simple design. It's just, like, anthro puppy with, like, red shirt, no pants, and white gloves. It's very, like, classic cartoony. The thing I like about the circus, though, is that it's, like, a very fun cast of characters. Like, there's a lot of diversity in art styles in the cast for the circus. You have, like, really weird shit like Gangle and Zooble, and then you have, like, very much, like, old-timey Rubber Hose cartoons, like Ribbit and Scratch and Jax. And then you have, like, creatures like Pomni, you know? All right, now we're entering the category that I like to call the absolute shitters, also known as my Spanish is malicious compliance, because if we don't put everybody, the chat gets mad at him, and if you still miss somebody, Spanish is gonna go hunt you down personally in Minecraft. Crappy looking fish. Spanish, are you dead ass? Spanish, are you dead ass? Why is this in here? I mean, it's a design. It's like the shittiest 3D model of a fish you're ever gonna see in your life. It's like, dude, do something. We can't be bothered. Just make it part of the gag, you know? Senor Pelo voiced one of these. What? No way! I am the one that Tails Light's like, dude, you ruined it. That is so fucking funny. I hate these. Like, this is like when 3D modeling was at its infancy. This looks like characters from Shark Tale. Okay? It's so fucking funny. I'm sorry. These are hilarious characters. Bisco. Okay, another character that abstracted. The reason why the 3D model is from the back and all that junk in the trunk is that's the only time you see Bisco, actually. Minus the concept art that Goose made and the crossed out sign on the door. I think that Bisco was with Scratch as some of the first people to join the circus. I believe that this was in Kinger's party. Bro, who the fuck are you? You guys fucking did this to yourselves, okay? Y'all got so fucking mad at Spanish for missing shit every time that now he's fucking gone on full malicious compliance mode. This was an original player, yeah. Full on fucking malicious compliance mode, so everybody's in here. And you guys are fucking gonna deal with it, okay? I like Bisco's design, though. I think it's very cute. It's like an egg timer. Real Globsheet dollars. This is like the section that I'm literally calling absolute shitters, and I demand that the video say absolute shitters, wave. Also, the head is super phallic. Goose, I don't know if you did that on purpose, but like it's like an egg timer with a penis head. It kind of is. It is. It's like Smash Bros. Ultimate, except every Globshito from the show is going to be invited into this. Everyone is here. Yeah, like, wait, you can make this like a Smash trailer. Now I can't unsee it. What do you think about the abstraction designs in general? I actually really like them. It's a really good way to like show ego death. Spike, another one of the original players, which was just like a Barney the dinosaur type of vibe. Kind of reminds me of like the Lernosaurus, although this predates it, I believe. Oh wait, no. But the Lernosaurus didn't have like the abstract geometric figures for spikes on its back. Yeah, Spike is actually a fairly cutesy design, very cartoony. It's like, this is what like Kane started out with. So that's why a lot of these are actually super simple, but I like them. Ratty! Again, another one where we only see the back. Yes, this was a human. Yes, this abstracted to filth. I wonder why. If I looked like a rat, I would also lose my sanity. Like, if I looked like this, I would also want to fucking delete myself. Like, the flower on the head and like the lopsided ears and like the eyes like sideways. Kane, look, Kane was doing the absolute best job that was available at the time. All right, I think that Kane got better at making these with time. I could see this in Courage the Cowardly Dog. Yeah, this is like Kane's first attempts at like getting humans into the fucking circus. Absolute fucking Globshito hours. Spanish, this was not necessary. You don't need to put the Chinese room NPC in there. What the fuck? Another mannequin with just artificial Chinese dictionary. The only thing the Chinese guy was doing was passing just Chinese symbols under the door to Kane. At the sexier Ming. Everyone, the Malicious Compliance Act continues. Oh, thank God, runs away. I have like one line of dialogue exactly. Dr. Full, I don't even remember this. Oh wait, hold on. You were in the pilot. Like, Pomni opened the door to this room and like it looked at her and then screamed. And it was like, it was horrible. Yeah, from the pilot. This was from the pilot. Absolutely unnecessary Spanish, but pop off. This one's actually one that had like a really weird jump scare. I like that it's just like in a bathtub that's not even full. Like the bottom of that tub is missing. My mark is digital. Barrel monkeys. Didn't the abstracted Cosmo fucking like destroy these? I hear screams outside my window. Yeah. I heard them too. Oh god, did we score or did we lose? Spain scored. Woo! Keep it up. Hold on, I have to check this score. I'm not rooting for anybody because if I do that, I curse them, but I need to fucking check this score. Spain scored. Woohoo! Keep that up, bitches. It was a penalty. What? Is the curse broken? Oh yeah, I heard screaming outside. Like, yeah, barrel monkeys is just... Do you guys ever play with a barrel of monkeys? They were actually a really fun kids toy. I actually like them. But this is like a low poly scuffed digital version of them. This is like so scuffed too. I don't think that these would work. They're supposed to be like flat. There's still a lot of game to be played. I think it's gonna be fun, you know? Anyway, barrel monkeys, it's just monkeys. The abstracted Cosmo fucking deleted these. Additional voices, a bunch of fucking NPCs. Spanish. Spanish! Yeah, like when I tell Spanish, like, hey, I want the characters in Digital Circus, Spanish went, bet, and so everyone is here. Absolute shitter hours, holy shit. The cookie butterfly. What the fuck is this here, Spanish? Spanish, if you could find a picture, did you throw this in here? I think there's like no more good ones. These are things that were all in the show, but like somehow Spanish decided if I don't put this in here, people are gonna have my wig. You know what? Bet. Fair. We're not putting in the anime cast because it's the same main characters, just with different art styles. But yeah, like the cookie butterfly is a cookie butterfly. It looks exactly what it would look like if you made a butterfly shaped like a cookie and decorated it shittily. This is exactly what my cookie would look like because I'm not good at decorating baked goods. The gummy elephant! I'm actually really glad you put this in here because I like the design. It was so stupid. The gummy elephant made me happy. It's pink, and it's really doofy and stupid, and it kind of like gives me Adventure Time vibes, and it's just silly. No ears, it's just gummy. I would eat the fuck out of this, though. I think that like my husband, who's like a gummy fanatic, would destroy this. Would you not demolish this? Yeah. Truck looks like a peanut. It looks like a gummy worm! Jeffrey. Who the fuck is Jeffrey? Who the... Spanish! Yeah, Spanish. Blink twice if you're alive. Like... Intermission guy. Is this one of Kane's eyes? Like... Ew. Oh, that's so gross. It's just Kane's eye. Okay. The worst part is that you're probably gonna be missing a Globeshito or two anyway. Oh no, the centipede is here. Okay, I did. I hate. I'm with Ragatha on this. I hate them. I hate them. I hate. I'm closing my eyes. I hate centipedes. Ah! No, baby. Okay, husband, you're supposed to be helping with the presentation. Not zooming it in so I gag more. I really don't like centipedes. Can you guys tell? You're terrible. Absolute shitter hours. Go away. Yeah, I'm with Ragatha on this. I hate centipedes. Shrimp. Oh. This one, I love this NPC for the 2 seconds it was on screen. It's just like an anthro shrimp, and then the sun fucking killed it. The sun just blinked, and it just became like an ebi fry. Which I love. An ebi fry. And then, an abstraction is not a shitter, Spanish. Most of these are actually, like, named characters. But I will use this to talk about the design of the abstractions. Now, the abstractions for me were fascinating concepts, right? Because an abstraction in the Digital Circus is what happens when your mentals get really, really bad. Usually in isolation, which is why most abstractions are actually found in people's rooms. The reason why Kane is so adamant that everybody have an adventure and have a good time is because when people aren't happy in the circus, they become this. They lose sense of self completely. So far as we know, there's no reversing this because you can't fix a corrupted file. Think about it. Have you ever been able to restore a corrupted file? I have copium in my veins that at some point these might be fixable, but it would probably take another 2 seasons of the show to figure out how. And I don't know if Kane is powerful enough to do that anymore. Still, though, the concept of a person's mind getting so frayed in the digital universe that they essentially corrupt themselves is fascinating to me. It's very much giving I have no mouth and I must scream. You lose your sense of self entirely. In the light, they're very jagged, very angular. They corrupt everything that they touch. They can fuck with other circus members if you're not careful. And they are usually docile in the dark. In the dark, they tend to be chill. You can actually tame them, but the only known one that's been tamed is Jax. And for the most part, they're just big, black, like high polygon masses with a lot of eyes. And the thing I want you guys to know is that the silhouette is super chaotic. Super. There's nowhere for your eye to rest. It's a fuck ton of color, it's a fuck ton of lines. However, it makes really good use of high contrast and high and shape language and a lot of colors to kind of like just show the internal chaos that the character is going through. So I definitely think it's worth it to show the abstractions because it is an interesting way to represent losing your sense of self. And the show does deal with mental illness up to a point, yes. And I think that it's a very good visual metaphor to what happens to your brain when you're not feeling yourself, when you're depressed, when you're feeling manic, when things just don't quite go your way, your perception of yourself changes. And that shit can fuck you up so bad, chat. Like, so bad. So I like the abstractions designs. And I also like that the dark seems to be a metaphor that if you take a step back and think about it, even if your brain is a mess, you can still breathe. You know? I did watch the show. I watched the entirety of the show, which is why I'm so comfortable talking about this this whole thing. But yeah, the abstractions are great. And I think with that, that's everybody in the circus, isn't it? All right. I actually love this show. If you guys haven't watched it, do make sure you give it a look. And if you do, don't watch this video until you're done with it, because otherwise you're going to get spoiled. Wait, what is this? We're ending the video on a real cursed note. Yeah. I don't know what this is. I hate it. Wave, thank you. Like... Regardless, if you guys like this video, like, comment, subscribe. Did you watch the Digital Circus? Did you like it? But let me know in the comments. Remember, if I said anything that made you MG, it's just rage bait, baby Suze. Also, listen, Jax, I know we don't get along, but have you tried out gsupps? Because, mama, I feel like it would fix a lot of your problems, baby boo. It's delicious, high energy, so many flavors. Not to mention, each one of these little tubs has 100 servings. Do you know how much fucking energy that is? A ridiculous amount of energy, Jax. Rabbit thing. Fix your shit. Go get some gsupps. Use code KingMation at checkout for 10% off your entire order. And if you need any flavor recommendations, chat, just ask. I've tried so many of them at this point, and gsupps just sends me a lot, so I can recommend a lot. Also, if you guys want to have a good EP, help that abstraction get some EP, give them some AFK. I've used it to deal with my fucking sleep terrorist husband to great effect. And you can get all that, cute waifu cups, amazing merch, from a ton of different fucking content creators, flavors, anything, on gamersupps.gg/kinkimation. Just remember to use that code, mama. And with that, this segment is done. Alright, I can play supers back now.
We better cover disappearing guy fast before.
Oh, I love the disappearing guy gag. I think it was my favorite joke in the show. Thank you. Now I can actually talk about the show a little bit more. Did we do the candy princess? We did everybody. Everybody.
I have an Australian blue healer. Incredibly loyal and sweet, but her herding instincts make it so she can't really be off the leash much.
Oh no. Thank you. What was that image? That was Wave.
The dogs my family has, due to allergy my brother and I has. I guess the most obvious is since they don't shed, they can easily get skin and eye problems. But I love the Coton de Tulier.
Also, thank you, Alex, for stopping by. Cause yeah, like, fun fact, I actually really like him.
Yeah, dachshund are that shape to go chase burrowing animals. But the ones that annoy me the most are what they did to basset hounds. The face skin is so droopy they get eye infections because they can't blink properly.
Aw. Thank you, though.
Oh, I remember. Thank you for making feel old.
Thank you. But yeah, hopefully you guys liked my review for Digital Circus. I know it's not a really long one because it's a relatively small cast, all things considered, but I had fun with it.
Also heavy inspiration from I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream and Raggedy Ann and Andy.
Oh yeah, a lot. Yeah, thank you. That's great. Yeah, I figured I wanted to talk about the show after I watched it though, because I know the fandom for this show is a little bit intense, and they might have accidentally spoiled me, so it was better if I watched it on my own. It was smaller until I checked 3 different wikis. How the fuck does the show have 3 different wikis?
Everyone knows Kaufmo is the sexy one, tourist.
Kaufmo is the sexy one, I agree. Thank you. I don't know if I'm going to cover any of Glitch's other shows, but for now I'm happy with the circus.
As a connoisseur of the dark arts, the only thing I know about this character is she is very stretchy.
A lot of characters in the circus have like really weird shapes though, which I appreciate. What's your favorite like alternative design? I think
Say
Zooble.
what you will about Fortnite, but they cooked.
Yeah, I thought it was really, really funny to see the circus characters in Fortnite. Thank you. Knights of Guinevere has been approved for production, but it's not out yet. I did watch the pilot.
You see the designs they made for D&D one-shot the cast did with their characters?
No, actually, but thank you. Yeah, very unique silhouettes, very fun play on shapes. I generally enjoyed watching the show with that too. I also really like the glitchiness of it.
Thanks to JoJo Part 5's English dub, I can say that Freddy Fazbear is Pomni's dad.
Oh my god,
There
stop.
is no joke, it's the same VAs.
I love that, thank you. Did you see the Gaslight District? The only glitch shows I've seen is
Jesters
Circus.
aren't just for laughing at, they're typically the only ones who can backtalk the royalty and give legit criticism safely.
Oh, the
I'd say
Jesters, yeah.
Pomni fits.
Yeah, it fits. Like, if you think about, like, Pomni's character and the fact that, like, Pomni gives Kane a lot of shit, that's probably why. Thank you.
Drop a JDAM on Jax, please.
Thank you. Glitch forgets about a meta runner. Glitch has a lot of shows. I think I've only seen their pilots,
Fun
though.
fact, Pomni was supposed to be prone to anger, but the actor couldn't sell it well enough, so they scrapped it.
I think that Pomni being an anxious wreck is much better. Much, much better.
Jax's dark rendition on running the show was astounding. I still think about how he Mufasa'd Kinger, and gently pushed Agatha.
I do like what they did with Jax near the end of the show. It's one of those things that, like, I felt bad, but also not really.
Give such Bugs Bunny vibes, but Bugs would easily knock the bastard down a peg.
I do think that Bugs would punch Jax. I think that Jax would deserve that, yeah.
Gangle and Zooble canonically smashed.
I know, they did. It was so funny. Like, I saw the end of the show, I was like, wait a minute. There's, like, if we finally get the sex update, it was so funny. I did like that Jax was an asshole, though. I feel like a lot of people are afraid of writing
Gangle
asshole
canonically
characters.
has had sex with Zooble.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. This sex DLC finally got fucking installed.
A fun thing to notice about Zooble is that their movement becomes way more fluid/sturdy the more they change their parts to that fit them better. Really great character concept.
It's really funny because, like, they have, like, a giant box of parts that Kane just gave them.
Fun fact. Schwan Chiplock, Kinger's VA and the voice of ReZero's Natsuki Subaru, is from my hometown.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Yo, what's that mouth do? Yeah,
Eh,
you know
baby.
that mouth's for gsupps.
Thank you. Yeah, Jax was an asshole, but Jax kind of, like... It was a case of, like, fuck around and find out, right? You feel bad, but also you don't.
Comparison are plenty, but I think the main difference between is that AM genuinely hates his humans but knows them well. Kane is fascinated by his humans but doesn't understand them.
A tragic asshole. Yeah, let's call Jax a tragic asshole. That's actually a good word for it.
Hello, 6 months let's go pink thing.
Woo,
Might
thank
be showing
you.
Gen 2 to a friend.
Nice.
As an editor, my interpretation is that Kane represents the pushing of Gen AI on artists for most of the series, before by the end becoming more simple, practical, and less environmentally impactful AI that assists in the
That could be some way to interpret it. I interpret it more as he's not human, so he doesn't get
as a
it.
friend. I've seen weirder ships. Trust me.
I'm glad that like my ship is weird. My ship is weird, but like I think it's funny, so it's fine. Mainly because I shipped Jax with the frog, although that bag got fumbled hardcore.
13 months, baby.
Thank you. But yeah, I do think that like it was a good move to make Jax an asshole, I think.
I want to give kudos to James Stunner, the lead animator of the show.
Very well done.
He's a talented artist who worked at Blue Sky Studios and other places, I think, and really knows how to make 3D models animate really cartoony.
No, the animation work was really solid. It's part of the reason why I liked the show to begin with. Thank you.
If Ribbit had made it to the end of the show, she and Pomni would be doing it daily. Just straight up boinking like Gangle and Zooble were during the credits.
I think that Ribbit would have probably have ended up with Jax. The problem is that Jax pushed her away so hard.
I think it's genius that Pomni is essentially a mashup of Ribbit and Kaufmo personality and appearance-wise. Just makes Jax's internal struggle over their loss all the more brutal.
Yep. A loss that, like, was very much
Abel is
unintentionally
what
Jax's
Gaster
fault.
Will look like in CH8.
Thank you. The thing I liked about Kane is that Kane was able to be redeemed. Kane was actually... Kane realized that the problem was that...
RRRGGGH.
Thank you.
RRRGHHHH.
Kane was probably not trying to understand the humans at all. Like, Kane thought that he knew what was best for them, and it bit him in the ass.
Evil Jax just be every Deku voice impression.
Isn't Evil Jax just Jax? Well, you have a TV pro face. Oh, I know! I think it's great. Evil Jax is just Jax, but nicer.
Paso, pink thing? I'm on lunch at my job, RN, so I figured I'd announce my presence and go back to lurking.
Thank you!
I've seen theories that the moon is a manifestation of the love the blue AI had for Kane despite their differences.
Yep. I think that, like, the blue AI could come back.
But an interesting theory.
Yeah, I think that the blue AI could come back to help Kane.
Pretty messed up that Kane programmed a desiccated corpse to possess Pomni and dunk on Kinger's abstracted wife.
I don't know what Kane... I think, you know, knowing Kane, they probably thought it was, like, funny. Or, like, something that would be interesting to the story. Thank you.
WHO?
This happens a lot with character reviews. The blue AI was in a case at the end credits. I think that, like... The thing I like, though, right, is... The show ended, but it doesn't feel like it's just book closed forever, you know? If Goose ever wanted to come back to it, I think that there is opportunity to it. If she wanted.
In the movie theater version, the Zach Hadelfish shows up at the beginning to give the rundown. Kane couldn't be here since he died.
Thank you. Like, they left things semi-open so that if Goose ever wants to come back, if she ever feels like working with her characters again, which she should at some point, I feel.
No Spanish is entirely done with our shite.
Thank you. I really liked the show, though. I found it very fun to watch. It was very engaging. It was decently well-written. I wish there would have been more episodes, but I understand if they just wanted to do the one season.
Jeffrey the Goat.
Thank you. I think the ending was pretty hopeful. I think it had a pretty happy ending, which I liked. I like happy endings, especially like in the era of everything being like doomer.
Spanish?
Yep, Spanish did the thing. Thank you. Kane had a big crisis and managed to get back to the edge.
Yeah. Murder Drones, if you haven't, would be interesting to see you discuss the designs since almost all use the same base model.
Maybe I'll check it out Sunday, but thank you. Yeah, I think that the message is definitely finding your own happiness and learning to accept your flaws. That's at least in Kane's case. I would like to know how everyone had their brain scanned in the first place, but possibly not important. I think it was just a blip. They just put on the headset, haha, funny. And as soon as you do it, your brain gets scanned. They did mention that the files were very small. It does give you, it reminded me of Soma a little bit, about how you don't know if you're the real person or the copy. So that's why most people in the circus thought that they were trapped. They really weren't. The real person put on the fucking headset, probably blipped something, was like, okay, this isn't working, and then took it off. To quote Impossible File, very small files, yes. That was like the main theory. Yeah, I think the main theory is that, because Pomni mentioned that they like to do like urban exploration, like she liked to like go into like abandoned buildings. It's very possible that she went into like an abandoned CNA facility and put the scanner on. A happier ending than Soma. Oh yeah, a much happier ending than Soma. Like, there's like clues and bits and pieces that might point to how everybody ended up in the circus, if that makes sense. Also, how does the building still have power? Maybe it's an old office that still has power. Who knows, honestly. Maybe they had generators. But yeah, like, you see, like, a funky headset, and you're like, haha, that's funny, and then, like, your scan ends up in the circus is like, oh. Solar powered? It could be solar. Lots of major buildings still have power despite being abandoned. Yeah, I think so. Just the basics, though. CNA is canonically an abandoned office in St. Louis, Missouri. Many offices in the U.S. are left connected to the power grid even if they aren't in use. Well, there you go. That's that question answered. Oh yeah, Kane actually used free Wi-Fi to do his shit. Also, chat, I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna call the stream a little bit early. I'm completely, like, wiped from earlier. I think that the heat actually did get to me a little bit, so I kind of need to lie down. But I'm really glad I was able to do this review today, even if it was a little bit on the short side. I will see you all on Thursday, though, so stick around for that. You guys are beautiful and lovely, and I had such a fun time reviewing the circus with you. And yeah, please take care of yourselves. Don't be like me. Wear sunblock and stay in the shade, all right? I'm gonna go lie down for a bit. All right. Bye. Love you. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Me. I am the great mighty Pooh, and I'm going to throw my shit at you. A huge supply of tish comes from my chocolate starfish.